Hey cats, it's Ed, Jack Daniels Bud here. Today we conjure up some magical beguilement in the shape of a part plate shoe. I've got an initial review for you of the striking and very exciting ASICS Magic Speed. A-ha! Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you're having a great Christmas right now. We're certainly getting into the swing of things here. Shakin' Stevens is on 24/7. If you haven't done so already, help the channel out by hitting that subscribe button, but also clicking the bell below for notifications when I roll out those new videos for you. It helps out a huge amount with the YouTube algorithm too if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share this video with your running buddies. Merci beaucoup. So this is a shoe that ASICS have sent over to me for review, but they're not paying me to make this video. You get my honest opinions as per usual. It's been sat around in the studio for some time actually. I wanted to get back to a place with my fitness where I felt I could do it justice, and I think I'm there now. It's certainly a bizarre looking beast, isn't it? Look at the curve there in the forefoot. But you know what they say, you should never judge a book by the cover. I'll tell you now friends, this shoe has bewitched me. It's a fantastic piece of footwear. Quick stats, a 5mm drop here in the Magic Speed. The sample size weight is about 230 grams, which is 8.1 ounces. In my UK 10.5 though, it's about 265 grams, which is 9.3 ounces. So only marginally heavier than something like the Hoka Rocket X, and very similar weight in fact to the Adios Pro in my UK 11. I reckon there's about 34mm of heel stack and 29 in the forefoot. All of this makes for a cracker of a shoe. Let's dive in. We'll start with the upper first. So a nice containing upper here ASICS have placed on top of the midsole, and a nice amount of padding here in the heel as well. Created a really nice lockdown over the top of the foot. Very pleasant in fact. Like a glove, a tailored glove made of felt. Some good toe box width here as well, even a half size down. Normally with ASICS shoes they run a little long for me in a UK 11. A 10.5 here is chef kiss stuff. Nowhere near as narrow in the arch as well as something like the Adidas Sen 8 or something like the Zoom Fly 4 from Nike. I would suggest examining the sizing quite carefully though. I think people have perhaps picked up the wrong size here when they've reviewed it in the past. I found a 10.5 in the Nova Blast 2 was still a little long for me, though a 10.5 here in the Magic Speed is perfect, so perhaps runs a little short. A containing and flexible mesh here. You got like two layers to it. One of them's a bit thinner, then you've got a more meshy like layer underneath. The overlays do provide a little bit of structure here to the upper, but overall it's quite an airy affair. I really love the premium laces here that ASICS have put into the Magic Speed. They give a little bit, but they tie really nicely. No chance of them coming undone. I didn't even need to use a runner's knot in this shoe. It really is a wonderful upper. I guess if you liked the Meta Racer from ASICS, then this is a slightly more plush affair. A little more comfort here. That was very much bare bones, that shoe, when I reviewed it last year. Real quality as well in terms of the build. There's no little pieces hanging off. Everything's just been put together really nicely. Feels like you've got a nice quality item in hand. I really like that ASICS. A few shoes I've tried out this year feel almost unfinished. I'm thinking of the Endorphin Pro 2 for example. That just had pieces almost hanging off. It was weird. And even the Next Percent 2, the finish on that really wasn't that special. But the build on this ASICS shoe is second to none. I think the best shoe uppers are like good referees, where you just don't notice them. They just let the running flow. As such, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3 after my initial runs for the upper.
Midsole now.
So we have Flight Foam Blast here in the Magic Speed, as opposed to standard Flight Foam I think we had in the Meta Racer. I could be wrong. Was that Propel? Flight Foam Propel? Either way, this one's a lot more bouncy, a lot more forgiving underfoot. We had this same foam in the Nova Blast 2 earlier this year, but that wedge-like shape that we've got here creates an incredible propulsive feel. This isn't one you're going to put on for slower saunters or those long, slow runs. Absolutely a faster pace shoe all the way. It urged me to lift up my cadence. It was like sat on my shoulder going,
"Go on. Can't do it, can you?"
And I got it up to round about where I'd be if I was racing. It felt really engaging, really exciting. Really getting that knee drive going, and yeah, the time just flew by. Maximum fun today in the Magic Speed. And yesterday, in fact. Over 10 miles into these now, and I think I've experienced one of the best shoes I've reviewed all year. I think not since the Tempo Next Percent have I had so much fun out running. Just a big smile on my face. There's a smooth roll here, and the rigidity of that midfoot to forefoot plate really does propel you forwards. Like flings you forwards a little bit like a catapult. Again, not a daily shoe. Anyone that's going to just do a 3 mile loop around the cul-de-sac, just don't try it. It's a speed shoe, it's a tempo shoe, I'd say it's a race shoe too. I do remember some reviews earlier this year of people just trying these out for a couple of miles and saying they couldn't really feel anything magical about them. Well, this is Paul Daniels distilled into a shoe. I think they perhaps should have taken a rest day then. I think with a faster cadence and the more you target that mid to forefoot strike, it rewards you with this really engaging ride. It sort of like pats you on the back each time. Flight Foam Blast in here isn't a plush pillow by any stretch of the imagination, guys. There's a more responsive rebound here though. Absorbs some of that hard-earned graft and then fires it back at you. A bit like a chewy nougat high rebound ball. Do I like it? Yes, 2021 reimagining of all the things that I really enjoyed from the Nike Zoom Fly when I first tried that out. Just with a vastly superior upper on top of this fantastic Flight Foam Blast midsole. Yes, it isn't as versatile perhaps as other shoes out there, but I think if you can find a discount to pick it up at a little cheaper from the retail, I think retail over here in the UK is about 145 Earth credits. I've seen them for as low as about £99, so yeah. I think if you like the Zoom Fly original, this could really work for you. I'm going to give it a 2.8 out of 3 for the midsole after my initial runs. Outsole now. We have AHA rubber here. ASICS High Abrasion rubber to be exact, although I think they should call it AHA AGA. ASICS High Abrasion and Grip rubber. Even on the slick trading estate pavement slabs, it held firm. Like a slug in a tornado, the debris-laden paths of 9 Springs were no match for the tread here. Some quite considerable depth here to the actual tread and pattern in the forefoot and midfoot section. Just assured traction all round and some great toe-off action. The lugs and fins are a little bit deeper than what we find on the ASICS Metaspeed Sky, and there's only a small amount of exposed midsole material here back in the heel. I think grit will accumulate relatively swiftly in the midfoot section here, and we know this rubber lasts the test of time. AHA will be around long after we are. Proven durability, and I think that this one really does amplify the outsole score. I can see this lasting up into the 300-mile sort of range, and I think unless you're particularly torturous to your outsoles, that's probably what you'll get. In dry and wet conditions, a real winner. I'll give this a 2.8 out of 3 for the outsole after my initial runs. Value now. Value-wise, I think at £145 retail, I feel this offers a little bit more than some of its plated counterparts. The Magic Speed certainly got a lot more pop than the Zoom Fly 4, much more engaging midsole material here as well on the Magic Speed, and it's got a good 40-gram weight advantage over the hefty old Nike number. Lighter in the upper than the Tempo Next Percent, though you haven't got those AirPods, but I would put this in the same category of bonkers fun. Some people might prefer the more weighty pendulum that the Tempo Next Percent offers. The mid to forefoot plate here is much more noticeable and rigid than that found in the Sen 8 from Adidas. Makes for a real propulsive feel. Bear in mind though that this shoe is about 40 grams heavier than the Takumi Sen 8. I think something like the Speed 2 will perhaps be more forgiving and probably be the shoe that a lot more people desire. This one for me is just too exciting not to stick on whenever I'm going to do some higher tempo efforts. I think the Magic Speed would probably be my choice right now if I wanted to run a 5 or 10k. In fact, I might run a quick 5k tomorrow morning for Christmas Day. Vastly better grip than the Speed 2, it has to be said. In fact, I don't think there's many other shoes out there that will provide as good a grip as you'll get in the Magic Speed. I think if you can pick these up for a bargain, sub 100 Earth credits, you're onto a winner. You know it makes sense. So, a 2.8 out of 3 for value, an absolute banger. Why didn't I try it out earlier? I'm a fool. If I've totaled the scores up correctly, that gives us 11.4 out of 12 after my initial runs for the ASICS Magic Speed. I couldn't resist, pulling the Elf shoe out for review on Christmas Eve. Had to be, didn't it? A surprise turn up for the books, one that has appeared just at the right time for me. It's really ignited my interest in running very quickly once again. Thanks, ASICS. You picked up the Magic Speed? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. A quick musical interlude for you. Christmas time is almost here, so you should check out Krungbin's song of that title. Really wonderful, very chilled out tune here. You know Krungbin's material. Mainly instrumental, just with some wispy vocals there. Like a ghost. There's some wonderful surfy style strap playing here. Nice chilled out drums. They could be from a hip hop track almost. And that weighty, thuddy bass. It's all a wonderful combination. You can enjoy some after 8 dinner mints while chilling out to this one. Christmas Time is Here by Krungben. I've got to decide whether I'm off down the Monte Carlo Club for some light conversation, or perhaps to the British Legion for 2 halves of ale. You know me guys, I live on the wild side. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas tomorrow. I may pop up with a little video for you just to keep you entertained while you're drinking your mulled wine. Have a wonderful time with your families, guys, and remember to get out there running if you can. Help the channel out by hitting that subscribe button and also clicking the bell below for notifications when I launch those new videos for you. And it helps us out too if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share the video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you. Merry Christmas. How are we doing now, alright? You're a lovely little fella, aren't you? There you are. Have a happy Christmas, you. Go on.